Okay, I guess we could get started. We know that one of our board members is not going to be here tonight. So I'll call the meeting to order, and I'll ask Carrie for roll call, please.
Okay, Tim Scarberry.
Here.
Don Monta.
Here.
Brett Carnes.
Here.
Rich Erickson.
Here.
All right. And then I will ask about the minutes for the, I guess it would have been the March meeting. Any corrections, or can we move with a motion for approval?
I move that we approve them. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So I guess we'll move on to the new business and the appeal.
Appeal number 1 is a request by Thomas and Linda Rumschlag for a 17.4-foot front yard setback variance and a 10.9-foot rear yard setback variance to build a home located at 10522 Runyon Lake Road, Benton, Michigan, 48430. Parcel ID 4704-09-202-027. The property is zoned LK1, Lakefront Residential, reference Tyrone Township Ordinance number 36, section 20.01, Schedule of Regulations.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Yes, I'm going to ask for some comments by the applicant. And maybe explain to us a little more the reason for the request, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'm representing the homeowners. I'm the builder. One of the main reasons for the request is the unique shape of the parcel on the cul-de-sac. The shape of that, if you do a 30-foot setback, is going to push that significantly into the lot. What we're hoping to do is to utilize the same setbacks that they're currently being on the lot now, being current on the lot with the existing homes that are there. So we're not looking to push it any further than it is currently, but looking to utilize the same setbacks that are on the property.
And just for clarification, you said homes. In other words, this is 2 lots.
Correct.
And you are tearing down.
We already removed the one, the parcels together.
Correct.
So it is one lot now. Correct.
Okay. Just clarifying for
Oh, yes,
everyone.
absolutely. For sure.
Okay. And also for clarification, the front yard, of course, is the cul-de-sac,
Correct.
which is the kind of the front side.
Right.
And then the rear is the lakeside. Okay. So I'll bring it, I guess I'll bring it back to the board for any questions, comments, or the members of the board here.
First question I have is that if the front yard is going to be on the cul-de-sac, are you moving the address to the cul-de-sac, or is it staying on Runyon Lake Road?
It's going to, actually, I believe it is going to be on the cul-de-sac. Well, actually, I take that back. The surviving address they want is the one that's on the cul-de-sac, but it's going to be on Runyon Lake Road where the main drive so we can still.
Okay, so the driveway is not coming off the cul-de-sac. It's
Correct.
coming off Runyon Lake.
Correct.
So that will be the address, I think.
Got it.
And when I looked at the property, the only thing I saw was the remains of the driveway. I don't know where the corners are anymore.
I had to say this.
So as, I guess, any of you guys have a question?
Go ahead, Rich.
To maintain the minimum 50-foot setback, is there any special requirements or things needed from a building perspective? I always had to cite it. It seemed from a general person's perspective like you could build 50 feet back and then build.
Correct.
But I'm just wondering if there's anything we don't know about. I just wanted to ask about that prevents from building 50 feet back off the lake.
On the rear yard.
From the lake.
Right, so from the lakeside, we could go back 50 feet, but from the cul-de-sac side, if it came over 30, there's nothing that would fit there because of how far that shape would come into there. So if we were allowed the cul-de-sac setback, that would allow us to come back 50 feet from the lake. We could do that.
Yeah, it seems like with the red lines the way I see it, the further back you go, you might gain a few feet off the cul-de-sac at the closest point, but maybe it doesn't exactly line up. In the existing building that's, I think that's a home or maybe it's a garage or something, but that's further away from the water where the driveway goes to right now. Is that gonna remain there? Is that
Yeah, we're gonna keep that accessory structure there.
Okay.
So you're leaving that existing building?
Correct, yeah, the existing building that's on lot 7 there.
Yep. And then looking up here, and then where is the drive coming in off of?
Comes in over there off of Runyon, to the left of the
It's
big
a
trees.
long concrete driveway.
Right here?
No, further over,
Down.
further down.
Yeah, south.
Go here. Go that way.
We'll be on the next lot.
Oh, yeah, thank you, yeah.
You know what? My arrow, I see.
That's the drive that we're gonna keep and maintain.
Yeah, and my arrow was on it, but it's not on it up there. My cursor's on it, and right there, right?
Yeah.
I guess I can't go by this screen. Yeah, right here's you're gonna use that existing drive.
Correct.
Okay. And then, let's see, where's my cursor up there now? See it anywhere? Oh, there it
Just
is.
showed up on Runyon Lake Court there.
There's no one there. Doesn't like moving.
I can see your pulse.
Come on.
Do you have a mouse pad?
You can unplug the mouse.
Oh,
Or if you
I'm using the pad.
I was gonna say there's a
Maybe that's
mouse.
it. Maybe that's the problem. See
There it is, yep. It's
You're
on
way
the
over
left
on
side.
the left-hand side.
You might have to take that paper out of there. Right. Work better.
See it?
Now you're over by Tyrone Township in the lake.
There you are. On the water.
Oh. Where's our red laser?
If you have a laser mouse and you're using a mouse pad, it doesn't usually work as well. So if you try without the mouse pad, it might work better.
It's working great on my screen.
You want me to point out
Anyway,
the question?
I want the existing building with the driveway off the cul-de-sac. You're leaving that?
Correct.
Would you put your finger figure on it?
I absolutely will, yes.
Yeah, makes it,
Yeah,
makes it
so-
clear. Thank you.
This building and drive right here is gonna stay. just
Okay.
the building there.
Okay,
And then the outline of the proposed home is basically gonna go, there's a 10, the setback right here is gonna follow along here like this, and it jogs around.
exactly.
that shape.
Okay,
So it's
And then the
gonna
drive
open
will
up as far as the view, you know, the sight line. Instead of these coming all the way up to the point, it's gonna be straight across right there.
mm-hmm. Okay,
The only problem I have right now is that if I look at it and I look at the regs, we have a new site here. And the setback has to be 50 feet. I'm having trouble trying to
Okay.
figure out.
Well, like I said, the 50-foot wasn't as critical, because we can still slide it back. The problem is really the front yard, I guess it would be the cul-de-sac side.
which is almost his side yard.
Yeah.
Right.
And the advantage you have on this lot is the further you get towards running lake, the higher you get. So if you went back 15 feet, you'd see over the whole neighborhood from up there.
Well, this down here is
It's
relatively
pretty
flat.
flat
actually.
down below.
This is
Well,
really
I know,
flat.
what I'm talking about, further up towards Running Lake Road, it's very high compared to the building or where the driveway ends.
Correct. Yeah, it is very high. Yeah, so we can definitely slide it back, but the problem is if this comes over into here, it really limits. I mean, as you can see on the drawing here, the existing home wouldn't even come close to fitting on there. And the plans for the future home wouldn't fit as
See,
well.
what he's saying is he slides it back.
Yeah,
that
I
corner,
do
so
understand
it's really close.
And that one,
But it's side yard. It's a side yard, it's not really front yard, because he's coming in off of.
but in that one, based on the shape of the lot, you could say that's, how I interpret is unreasonable, like, based on the shape of your lot, like, to maintain a setback. off
Well,
that corner.
his burden
Is
is the
that-
cul-de-sac
Yeah, no, yeah.
that he's not using.
Yeah.
The burden is the
And you
cul-de-sac.
said they were trying to keep the address of the cul-de-sac lot
Well,
versus.
they wanted that to be the surviving address, but whatever it is, it's not a big deal.
Gotcha.
And Greg, that is a side yard, but it's also a front yard, because they have two front
Yeah,
yard setbacks.
I know.
So,
But it depends on what the address is for the property.
correct, but they still have to have the front yard setback from both roads, regardless,
Because it's a road.
because they're on a
Because
corner.
it's,
How firm is this design?
We are in the final stages of the design right now.
Do you know what your setback would be off the cul-de-sac if you were at 50 feet? I know it's gonna be generally close to that
Yeah.
18 foot.
I'm just wondering how
I'm just
far.
thinking it might be.
You're asking if it slides back essentially that additional, 12 feet or whatever.
Yeah, because it seems like it might grow that setback off the cul-de-sac. Just
It is
based on the angle of the house. but-
Right, it is possible to grow some.
Yeah.
I know we can't do this 30 foot as the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's too far over.
how far off the southern lot line is that lakeside corner of the house?
Well, that has a 10-foot side or setback there, so it's gonna be over 10 feet off that side. I don't have it set exactly, but I'm probably guessing about 12 foot is what that setback
Yeah,
would be.
you're well within.
Right, so that side we have no problem, we don't need to encroach or have any issues at all.
So if you slid along that lot line, the building envelope, away from the lake, you're gonna be going away from the cul-de-sac as well.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So we could still honor the 50-foot ordinance. He could still keep his building envelope. And he could still honor the 10-foot off the southern border. And then we just grant a variance for the cul-de-sac stuff, and his hardship is The cul-de-sac, side yard, I mean, that he's not using as a driveway.
And if it was just a regular side yard, it would only be 10 foot, correct?
Yes.
So you're already within,
Yeah, yeah. And it's still, it's gonna put him a little closer to that existing building, but I don't think it's gonna be, it's still gonna be,
On the,
still gonna be a pretty good distance.
the proposed home, is there gonna be anything outside the home on that side near the cul-de-sac, or is that planned to be grass? Curious there.
The,
I guess that would be the western end of the home.
so what I have shown on the footprint, you can see the red outline there, kind of steps out, I think it's like 12, 14 feet. That's actually a patio, covered patio there, so it's shown on here already. Everything else that's there outside of my red outline for the building footprint is going to be grass and landscaping.
Okay. All right.
There will be a significant increased space between the neighbor to the north and this current, the new home.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I think I'd be a little concerned about the neighbor on the side also.
Well, they're way back here.
Yeah, but with the house in the location we just asked for, it's right in the line of sight.
See the line of sight now?
Why not? There's nothing there now.
Oh,
yeah, you can see the footprint with everything's going.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's not a two-story.
It's not too steep.
That makes a huge difference.
The way you, how you describe it, to me, that seems reasonable. 50 feet.
Slide, yeah.
Cul-de-sac.
The only thing that might get closer to that corner there. Probably not.
Not any closer than that right there.
No.
All right. Well, any more questions or comments from you guys? So,
I don't know, what do we need to see a revised plan?
I think so.
From
I
a
think
procedure standpoint.
I think we do. Because right now we're telling him to do something, but we don't know what it'll be when he's done.
Thoughts on
well, my thought is we don't grant the variance for the 50 and we do for that. And he makes the envelope work. I mean, we've done that before.
that?
If,
Okay. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you won't really know what this side yard will be until
we see it.
until we see it, but understanding it. I mean,
But it
if
can't
everything else
exceed,
works.
if it can't exceed what we're seeing today.
Right.
then that's the way to do it.
Right.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah, he has at least that much.
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes sense.
you're basically granting a variance on one and not the other.
Yeah.
And as it slides back, it should help you some unless you were to get to that covered terrace, but I don't think it's gonna go back far enough to make that closer than the 18 feet.
Mhm. Actually, it'll be a little further away, I think.
And if you stay closer, I think, to the south lot line as it goes back, they're a little bit wider on one side than the other, so that might actually help you on that as well.
You'd be
Yeah.
more inclined to see what it looks like on the plat
Yeah.
after or before we vote on it personally. And I understand
Well-
completely the concept, I think it's good, but I'd like to make sure that it's there so everybody can see it before we.
Well, let's listen to the comments from the audience and then I'll bring it back for you guys to either table or decide what you want to do.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So I'm gonna open it, up to the audience for any oral comments.
Well, I'm the south lot, and as far as I'm concerned, I thought there was something to do with our view being obscured. I mean, with right now, even the previous home that was there, it was, you know, a one-story. If we're putting a two-story there, there's nothing like that we have any control over that's gonna, it's definitely gonna block that view of that side of where we, you know, that's my concern. I'm not opposed at all to a, you know, a one-story home being put back there, but a two-story home that's blocking that whole, you know, view. We bought the property based on the view, and we're gonna lose that part of the lake, which we didn't have any control over what was on the right side of us already. That was already approved before we moved in, but now we're gonna be losing that whole part with a two-story house.
And your home is the home that's closer to the road, and then there's a service building that's next to the lake?
Correct. Yes. And we just purchased that in December with nothing on the table about any of this. So I even checked when the house was being torn down, what was going on, and nothing was on the table at that point, so. I mean, we bought the house based on knowing what was on to the right, which was fine with us. But not knowing that we're gonna have a two-story to the left of us makes a huge difference in not only our view, but also the value of our home if that's taken away.
You signed in your name?
I did. Thank you. And I did write a letter.
And we have a written correspondence too?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Any other comments?
It's in the packet.
Or questions?
It's in the packet.
The only question I have is on the existing garage coming off the cul-de-sac, that's still gonna have a driveway coming off the cul-de-sac there, I assume.
Correct, that's what I read. It's the one that's there is to stay.
And then the house that would be in 7, is that gonna stand still, or is that gonna be torn down too?
That's gonna be torn down, the one that's staying there now.
Okay. And then you could have the driveway.
So this stays intact,
Correct.
this is gone, and this is going.
That's already gone.
This is gone, okay. And then the new structure is gonna be in here,
Correct.
That's a two-story structure?
two-story.
A true two-story or a two-story that's gonna be like the new two-story kind of home? Because we're not talking normal two-story homes anymore.
What is the
right?
height of the peak? Because we do have an ordinance for height restriction. I'm looking at these drawings, and it looks pretty normal. Over here,
It doesn't show the peak.
10, 9, yeah, we do, but we could scale it a little.
I mean, I would estimate it's probably about 25, 26 feet roughly.
Yep, I'm gonna say, yeah. 20, if I remember right, 25 is the ordinance.
I'm not sure, I have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 20.
And your house is 25 foot above the grade where they want to build right now?
Our house, I mean, it's, Yeah, it's-
You're 25 feet above them right now.
Look at his
That's what your ground level is. According to this drawing, this one here. Yeah. built here, they could see everything from up there.
Yeah, there is.
About 26 feet, right?
Just trying to find that in the ordinance.
Yeah, I'm looking it
It's a
up too.
deal for us. It's
Did you find it? Yeah, pretty sure it's- Let's see, it's 25.
Here's what I looked it up.
Maximum building height. L1,
That's I might find it.
20 feet.
I was just saying
I
that.
got 20 feet.
God, I can't do it on my phone.
section is that?
20, 20-4. No, it's not. Sorry.
We're not blocking these guys. These are on the same setback. They'll actually be able to see these guys.
To Don's point, if you push back, you're probably increasing,
Oh, yeah.
right, you're
Unless you-
increasing elevation if you push the home
Well,
back.
I'm just saying that if she were back here, if that house was back here, the view of the whole lake is there. Because these guys are all 25 feet below it.
Yeah, same with the southern home. If they build wherever, their view is still there, with the home below. You know, their southern neighbors and south.
Just go to schedule renovations. Go to schedule renovations. Share.
And that height is always a tricky thing because
Yeah.
the elevation change of the grade, you know, where do you measure from?
It says for LK1, it's 30 is the maximum height for a principal structure.
30?
That's what I just found, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds, I don't know why this is.
It's actually that way for all zoning ordinances.
20 feet of two-stories, you got the question.
Yeah, yeah.
20 is pretty,
Pretty low.
yeah,
That's low, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you say you get an 8-foot wall plus any kind of truss on top of it.
right, right.
In the-
Minimum 24 foot.
Yeah, commercial industrial, it goes above 30, but yeah, it is 30.
I mean, have they entertained that idea at all of moving the house back up on the hill more, being closer to Rain Lake Road, or they're just trying to stay close to the lake?
They want to be closer to the lake where their existing houses were.
Yeah.
Well, he has the right to be 50 feet off. So,
Yeah.
Which we put it right about here.
yeah, well, here. So it's gonna go back from here to here.
8 feet.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, almost just, almost
Well,
11.
he's
The
asking,
closest.
he's asking for 10, 11 feet, so
Go
that's-
back 11 feet, yeah.
right here. He's asking for 11, so that's probably it right there. there any more comments from anyone? You guys got any more questions or anything? 'Cause I'll
Is anybody on Zoom? There's a few people on Zoom, I don't know if they're raising their hands. Can't tell.
I can't.
No,
either.
it would come up
Okay.
by their name. I don't see it.
So I guess I have a question. You're just saying, so it doesn't matter, as long as he's 50 feet back, you can build up to 30 feet. That's, so anybody can do whatever they want. It does, I thought there was something to do with if it obscured the view of current homes. I mean, it doesn't make sense if you purchase a home based on having a certain view and then it's blocked. That makes no sense to me. I don't understand how any ordinance could be like, that's okay, like, I can just, you know, go 30 feet up and block all these people that have all of this view. That, I don't understand. I mean, we bought a piece of property based on the view that we have, and now we're gonna lose that whole section because it's a 2-story. I have no problem with the 1-story home, but a 2-story home is blocking, you know, that whole section of the lake.
We call that the sight line.
So, okay, so the sight line doesn't matter? Is that what you're saying though? Like,
For this body, right, he's appealing the setbacks and requesting a variance. So for the ZBA, we don't get into the sight lines. But the planning commission may get into it and require greater setbacks if we feel there's a unreasonable impact. I don't know if I'm using the exact language in our ordinance, but if we feel there's an unreasonable impact on site.
this isn't the right meeting.
Yeah, then the planning commission may require it be set back further than the minimum 50 feet.
Okay.
We can only rule on,
Okay, I didn't know that there was another
and the
step.
sightline, it's not defined enough in our ordinance to make a determination on that alone. Like Rich was saying, it needs to go to the planning commission for that.
So can we defer to the planning commission to send this back to them? I have a question to ask.
Well, no, I'm trying to think how this, was, I think this came to subcommittee, planning commission, and
Yeah.
the consensus was that it had to be at least at the minimum in this case, based on the data we had. So it had to be at least at 50 feet off the lake. So then that was when the applicant came with the variance request to be less than 50 feet off the lake and the one off the cul-de-sac. Carrie, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
And so the ZBA can only evaluate the application based on the 5 decision criteria. They cannot grant or deny a variance request solely based on sightlines. It can only be on those 5 criteria. So even if the planning commission said, yeah, it has to be this many feet back, it can be appealed with this board. And as long as he meets those 5 criteria, he should be granted the variance.
My question was just answered.
Okay.
And who are you?
I'm Molly Bentley.
Okay. Oh, Mark. Okay.
Yes, that's my husband.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mark.
So again, I'm gonna close the oral. Do we just have the one written?
Yes,
And
it
then-
was
okay.
this lady here, yes.
And then I'll bring it back to the board for consideration. If there's enough information here for you to make a determination, a motion. And
I'd like to see the drawings more specific on the plots before we vote. So I'm not sure whether or not I should move.
Ask the table.
Well,
Ask the table.
And so I understand, we're basically saying, move it back 50 feet, whatever this sideline deal over here, or be the front setback from the cul-de-sac side. It'll most likely grow a little bit, but you hate to have somebody go back and spend the money to have it redrawn if we're gonna then have a problem with that cul-de-sac side. We know that's not gonna be there, correct?
Well, I imagine we would, once that comes through, we'll probably approve.
We would approve the cul-de-sac, yeah, okay, that sounds reasonable to me.
So essentially you want to table and ask for
I mean,
updated information.
I can kind of visualize, you know, like I said, I think this side thing will grow. I personally don't necessarily have to see the drawing as long as, I mean, there again, it would have to be
But, yeah, I
state to what we approved, but.
I kind of see what, to Don's point. I can
It-
see this case because we don't, at the moment, we don't, like if we.
You don't know what
approve
you're
some-
approving on the side.
Yeah, so
I
on
can
both
understand.
sides, right, the
Yep.
southern side and the northern side. I think is what you're saying, Don, where it should be clearly marked,
Right.
the dimensions.
Well, then you absolutely know what you're granting at that point. Right now, it's gonna grow a little, we think, but not positive.
We don't know. So I'll move that we table this to allow them to come up with more information for us to vote on with an updated drawing, which will allow us and the neighboring territory, neighboring properties to see what they're doing.
Are we allowed to have any of the drawing information to see where that is at, or are we not?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
It would, I guess, would this be able to come in May? I don't know, Carrie, Greg, I don't know. how
Yeah, it
that
would be
work.
ne- well,
The next meeting.
the
It
next-
depends on the applicant, of course, if they can get the information, but.
In the next month would be,
Well, would it have to be only if there's another meeting scheduled,
Okay.
I believe.
I didn't know how that
I'm-
worked, just
I
to
think-
give good feedback, you know.
Yeah, I'll find out for sure, but I think there has to be another meeting scheduled and then we can put him on the agenda. I'll find out.
okay.
If that's the case, it won't be till June. But I'm not sure. I'll find out.
I guess my question is, if you're all in agreement to the cul-de-sac, I know I'm definitely not gonna encroach in what I'm requesting. I would only increase that side of that setback. Does it have to go to another meeting if they're all in agreement to approving the setback on the side? It's just a matter of reviewing that, yes, this is uniform to what we've agreed to, it matches it.
Approve with contingencies, approve with conditions if they submit a new site plan.
Are you good with that?
I mean, I wouldn't be uncomfortable with that, but there again, I don't know how it works with, as far as, you don't know what you're doing on one side, but as it moves back, it should grow.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying, is I have the new drawings that shows this is our exact footprint, what we have, everything's done on CAD with the dimension signal.
If we were to draw, have him redraw this and submit it to us without having to go to an engineer or anything, would that be sufficient?
Yeah, he's just saying he's not gonna get any closer than that. In fact, he believes he's gonna get further away.
I'll definitely get further away as we slide it back, and I maintain that 10+ setback on the south
On
side.
this side, he's moving that, that's going away. Because we're not granting the 10 foot or 11 foot, because he's going away from the lake. And he's not needing one over here.
I mean, I understand the concern because they'll make the job 2 months, potentially, you know. But I don't know if that would have to come, you know, a new site plan be brought in and put on file, whatever, to confirm, or just, you know.
Our President Reagan said, Trust but verify.
And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'll let you verify. I'm not trying to just ask for trust. I'll verify it. I've everything done, digitally, so everything is professionally done. I just don't wait until June to get to that next point.
Personally, I'm would be okay with the minimal, right, of the variance of that, what was it, 17.6 on that side.
I mean, as long as he holds his 50 feet from the lake, can the setback from the cul-de-sac just be determined once they reset it?
Yeah,
You
but
know,
what
like,
we
I know
would
you
do-
need that information, but
But what we could do as a body, and I think this, Greg, is your point, is to, that it can't get closer than 17.6 feet.
Yes. And like I say, based on looking at this, and I was on site, it's gonna grow. I mean, I can't swear to it. It's gonna grow as it comes back. And it may grow more than we even think, based on if that south property line runs on an angle and you keep, so the further you go back,
Bring it back to the board for a motion then.
Good. Let's see, I'll word this. Make a motion to approve the setback variance off the cul-de-sac only, and contingent upon receiving an updated site plan that clearly shows the distance from the southern lot line and the cul-de-sac, with the home being located a minimum 50 feet off from the water's edge. I think that's accurate.
Yep. Can ask.
I just want to make sure I don't leave anything out of that.
We want to repeat that again?
We're not tabling it then?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like it. We have a motion.
All right, can you do that motion again, please?
Yeah, the motion was to approve the variance off of this, for the setback off the cul-de-sac.
Which is referred to as the front yard setback.
Yeah. Contingent upon receiving an updated site plan that clearly shows the distance of the proposed home from the southern lot line,
Okay.
and at least a minimum 50 feet setback off the ordinary high water mark.
All right, moving to approve the variance off the cul-de-sac only, the front yard. Contingent upon receiving a new site plan showing at least 50-foot setback from the water's high mark.
Essentially, we're denying the 10-foot line
Correct.
and staying within the ordinance.
Okay.
And I would add to that the hardship is in granting the 17.4 due to the front/side yard being on a cul-de-sac or next to a cul-de-sac. He's not really even using the cul-de-sac. His address is off of
So-
Lake.
to my point that I made earlier, if the address becomes the driveway, and that then would that become a side yard and only
I
need
know,
10 feet?
It's still.
Because it's a cul-de-sac?
Carrie
Because it's
said,
a
it's still
cul-de-sac, and that's the problem.
Okay.
That's the hardship.
Gotcha.
His side yard is essentially a front yard because of the cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
Because if it was a side yard, he wouldn't need a variance there either.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, if you got rid of the driveway or there was no access from
If
that.
that cul-de-sac wasn't there, he wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're clear? Clear as mud?
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We'll do a vote.
Take a vote, please.
Okay. Don Bubka,
No.
Tim Scarberry,
Yes.
Rich Erickson,
Yes.
and Brad Carnes.
Yes. All right. You're all set.
All right, thank you.
And as,
That's what my,
and as,
we're gonna be living there for a long time too, so.
as far as the height thing, I understand your concern, but we need to improve our ordinance.
Well, you know, I guess I'm learning a lot from buying this house, but
Yeah,
Stop
It's-
the video.
it's really, even the high water table has showed me that we don't have as much frontage as we thought we did. There's a lot that I'm learning.
welcome to Lake Live.
Well, I live on a lake up north. I
Oh,
mean,
do
I
you?
have one